Disco's been good, Brian.
Been very good.
Hasn't skipped a beat. What about this? I love this situation because this is going to, and our man Tony Kemp, colleague over there at SENZ, this is going to make things very, very interesting because the old boys, as they call it, which Kempy's one of those, have been very adamant, they've been very vocal around the fact that it should be a Kiwi coaching the team.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden this lands. Wayne Bennett puts his hand up for the Kiwis job. Assisted Stephen Kearney in 2008. Michael Maguire stood down to take the Blues job, as we know, over the past week. He's got a big passion for the international game, but he finishes up at the Dolphins at the end of 2024.
Yep.
So, therefore, he could roll straight into that black jumper of the Kiwis. What do you think about this? Because how would the old boys receive this news? Would they be as adamant as they have been around Maguire, who had a slashing win?
Well, that doesn't make sense. They cannot. If the old boys didn't want Maguire there,
They've got to hold firm, don't they?
then how would they want Wayne Bennett?
Well, he's the great.
I know he's the great, but he hasn't done what Michael Maguire has
just done. No, that's right. That's right. So they
unless they get him as an assistant, which they have done in previous time. But who's going to coach?
Would he do that again as an assistant?
I reckon he would.
You reckon?
He'd do anything for cash. He likes his cabbage. I mean, who doesn't though, really? Yeah. Look at me. Look what I'm doing.
Michael Maguire wants to bring stars back to Origin. Now, Jack Wighton retired from Origin to Kangaroos last year. Maguire and Wighton worked together at the Raiders last season. Could you see that happening?
I could definitely can see that happening.
That was a big, this year when you're seeing Turbo go down and Latrell not available, and you're just looking at Jack Wighton going, oh, geez, that'd solve some problems.
But good on Jack, because Jack came out and said, look, it's my last. At the time, it wasn't. He hadn't signed with South.
No.
But he said, I just want to put all my efforts into the Raiders to get him. And him knowing that that was his last year there. So I thought that was quite admirable.
Yeah, I do too.
So if he's got, how long did he sign? 4 years at the Bunnies? 3 or 4 years, I think he's got. So he's an Origin player.
Yep.
That's what you need.
Yep.
He's a big, strong bloke. And so if he's available, I would say Madge would be grabbing him. I don't think he'd play him at 6, though.
So is there any other player in the competition who's done what he's done? He has won a Clive Churchill medal and a Dally M. Is there anyone in the competition? Nathan Cleary's not won a Dally M, has he?
Yes.
Nathan Cleary has won a Dally M.
No, sorry. Jonathan Thurston.
No, current player.
Oh,
is he the only current player with the Clive Churchill and the Dally M?
Yep.
From memory.
That'd be right, wouldn't it?
Munster? Nope. I think you're right.
So well, Keary hasn't won one. Dylan Edwards certainly hasn't won one, although he would have been close a couple of times. Anyway, if you do know, let us know. Adam Dewey, boys, Fatima Kadu and the Telegraph. Right, so the West Tigers won't be taking further action against a remorseful Adam Dewey after he made a controversial comment on a social media post supporting the inclusion of LGBTQ plus athletes and supporters in sport. Dewey left the comment, embarrassing post, under a post on the English Premier League's Instagram account on how to speak about LGBTQ plus inclusion. Is he allowed to write something like that?
Well, he's come out and he sat down with the Integrity Commission and the Tigers and explained himself. His explanation was it was an embarrassing post to say that you have to explain how to talk.
Yes. To
members of the community.
Yeah, well, that could also be.
Does it pass the pub test? I think it does.
I think it does, yeah. I think it does, for sure.
And you know what my A grades are? My A grades are anyway, we'll get to it. But the people that then hammer him in social media going, seriously, and then attacking him personally.
The high horses.
Oh, the high horses, without even listening to him. Then they turn around and go, so how about you play 4 games in a row? And these are people who are just... Anyway,
is that not the irony of it? Like he writes something and it's like, oh, maybe I should have thought about what I'm writing. But then the people that are blowing up at him are writing all this personal stuff about him on social media because he's written 2 words. Like, it doesn't look good initially, but
he's explained
what
himself.
They're saying
I know.
is ridiculous.
But there was a girl that came out. There was a girl.
I saw that post calling him a.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, even worse.
Yeah.
It was like worse than what he said. And turning around, I just thought.
Did he bite or did he shoulder arms?
I don't know whether.
No, it wasn't connected.
Oh, okay.
This was on Instagram, what he wrote, but this was,
This is the world
Twitter.
we live in, I suppose.
Surprise.
I've met Adam Dewey, and he every dealings I've had with him, he's a respectful kid. So I'm taking his word for it, saying I believe what he may say.
We've got some more NRL news to come, but we better get to a break. 1301 1170 to have your say or text 0457 736 736.